guys for nothing.
How do you do it again?
Afa.
Afa.
No, afa.
Afa.
Nis.
Dem.
Bak.
Bak.
Taka.
Taka.
Moha.
Moha.
Afanis dem bak taka nef taka moha.
Afanis dem baka
taka nef taka moha. Afanis dem bak taka nef taka moha. Afanis dem bak taka nef taka moha. Afanis dem bak taka nef taka.
I'm in Riyadh. It's 2:18 a.m. I got Swiss on my right and Jumana on my left. We can just do that all night.
I know. That was
No,
our
we could
intro.
turn that in. I could turn that into a beat.
You definitely
Please
could.
do that in your next song, and it'll just be.
I just need you to send me the sample.
Absolutely.
I-
I'll
I-
just break it down for you.
I'm convinced
No, I
that
need you to say it like how you was just saying it. I'm gonna take
Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha.
with a little bit more energy though.
Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha.
Slow.
Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha.
Hey.
Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha. Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha. Afanistem bak taka nef taka moha.
Yeah, all that.
how do you think his last song of Saudi, Ma Habibte, Ma Bibe, Ma Bi- how do you think that started? It probably started in a conversation like this. Ma Habibte, Habibe. We were
But I
listening
don't
on the
think
way.
it was 1:30, 2:30 in the morning.
No, it's probably noon.
With
5
him.
a.m.
We are so okay. Well,
That's in my head now. After this, that's crazy.
I'm not
You're
gonna.
gonna get it in an hour or so, or a month. You'll get it.
I'm not gonna kick this one off. Jemina, fire us off.
First of all, thank you so much for being here. I know you have a crazy, crazy schedule, so we're so incredibly honored.
I appreciate the invite.
We're
Honestly,
so honored, and
It's our pleasure, man.
obviously we were born here, we were raised here. I personally never left Saudi ever.
Wow.
I mean, everyone.
what you mean, like ever?
No, ever. I mean, no. I
never got on a plane.
I've never
It's
gone
like,
on a
hold
plane.
on, you gotta
No,
fix
no,
this.
no. I mean, I never lived abroad. I never went to school abroad. I
Got
was born and bred here.
Yes,
Um,
thoroughbred.
Yeah, it's not that alarming, so it's okay. We're good. But you chose Saudi, and you keep choosing Saudi, and we really need to know why.
I think Saudi's been choosing me. The energy, the love, the culture, the people, of course. I just always been like a person of discovery. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Anytime you would mention this beautiful place, people would have like something that just was, I'm like, what? Let me see this for myself. Because like, you know, it's easy to judge from the sidelines. And so, you know, I've always been a fan of the Middle East, period. And I just wanted to explore and just see what I felt. And I honestly wasn't expecting what I felt. I knew I was going to feel something, but I was just like, whoa, like.
When was your first visit?
My first visit was in 2006. It was definitely a different place, definitely different energy. It wasn't where we are today, which impressed me the most, you know, because I got to see an early peek into the window, and then to see a place change so fast and empower creatives the way that I'm witnessing, and empowering the people the way that I'm witnessing. I wish they talk about that a little bit more back home, you know, but they'll catch up. And, you know, in due time, inshallah.
Yeah.
But I just got to witness from that time to now, and it's been amazing to watch, because I don't think that I've witnessed anywhere in the world move so fast on changing. You know, like people talk about change, but we actually seeing the change. Like you seeing something that happened in, you know, 4 years that don't happen in 40 to 70 years. Like, this is what Saudi's doing. And I just love that energy. I just love that mindset. I love that forward thinking. I'm attracted to it.
I have a question that just I was wondering about. Did you feel at all, being Muslim, did you feel you were obligated to ignore the noise and check it out for yourself? Because Mecca and Medina, the two holiest cities, are here?
Honestly, I when I think of Saudi, I wasn't thinking religious at all. Although the Holy Land is definitely here, and Mecca, Medina is, the highest you can get on that level in Islam. I wasn't really looking at it like that for some reason. I was looking at it more as I do creativity everywhere, right? Like, like I have my fair no commissions, which I definitely gotta do it in Saudi. Like I took a little time out from it because it was getting too popular. And sometimes you gotta cool yourself. Sometimes you gotta cool things off yourself, because people lose track of why you're doing it, why they're there. And it just was getting too big. 30,000 RSVPs a night at Art Basel and everywhere we was doing it. And yes, it's giving back artists 100% of the sales, but the energy was just shifting to not being like why I started it, And so I killed it, and I'm about to bring it back to life, inshallah, 23. But I did no commissions in Shanghai. I did no commissions in London. I did no commissions all around the world. So my thing was like, Saudi is putting the flag in the ground for creatives. This is where I need to be. So it was more of a creative calling, and it just was, I don't know, I just follow the zone. Like it's not really a roadmap. And even when I start with a roadmap, I end up ripping it up and saying, you know what, I don't want the navigation. Like, let me just go where I just see the light.
Mm-hmm. Since my growing up years, when I started listening to Jay-Z, 94, 5, 6, 7, I always used to hear Swiss Beatz. from I'm just going back to my 12-year-old self, I'm actually recalling what my memory is allowing me to recall. Swiss Beatz, like always, being shouted out. I recall Swiss being on a Jay-Z beat. I recall him being on I'm into hip hop, by the way. DMX, I remember that. Again, I'm going off memory. So Swiss was, in one way or another, whether he rapped or not back then, he was more of he was in charge of the beat, but little did I know then that I know now that he was the guy that did the beat on DMX. He is the guy that did the beats on Jay-Z. But they guys got the credit. So I grew up thinking that, Swiss Beatz is just a musician. At what point did you say, you know what? I know that they're both creative, but at what point did you say, I'm actually going to venture into this art world and see what's behind that curtain?
I was technically born in the art world, like I was technically born in the music world. And the reason why I say that is because being born in the Bronx, like, you go outside, that's where, first of all, the Bronx is where hip hop originated.
Yeah.
Like, that's factual. My dad is a part of that movement with Kool Herc.
Was it the Sugar Hill?
Nah, this is even before that.
Before that. So that wasn't the birth of hip hop, was it?
No, that was the first hit per se. That was the first, but Kool Herc, Cedric Avenue in the Bronx. My dad lived on the 3rd. Kool Herc lived on the 2nd floor. My dad DJ'd for Kool Herc. He never really talked about the story back then for some reason. But he my dad technically, and he's gonna hate that I'm saying this, but he's technically, I'm gonna do this for him, a small part of starting hip hop, from living in that building and when Kool Herc wasn't DJing, my dad was DJing, right? So that is a part of legacy. So, but I haven't, I never even, he didn't talk about it so much. I never thought about it. Like, I'm just thinking about this like a year ago, technically. Like, this whole time I've been moving, I wasn't thinking about my dad doing hip hop and DJing and things like that, because I just was in my own zone.
Yeah.
You know, I was just in my own zone and just following my lane and just running. But you know, for me, it was just all having fun technically, like, and I did get the credit for those tracks. You know, I was just the producer on there, and it was just something about playing the background that just felt amazing. I'm like, damn, they got to go on tour. They got to do all of this. I can make the beat in the studio and produce 20 artists at one time, own most of the songs because I was writing them. It's like, I like this.
How old were you back then? How old are we talking?
17.
17.
Yeah, 17 going into 18. Yeah.
Did you ever expect it to come full circle, like with Jemana's opening question, but to come full circle to Saudi? I mean, that's. Did you ever foresee that?
You know what's crazy? Saudi's technically been in my internal vision board for like even before I knew it, right? Like, I just always love music from around the world. I love Arabic music. I love Arabic food. I love a lot of things. Like, I know that I'm Arabic. Like, it calls me too much, right? Like, I know that I'm Saudi somewhere.
Did we congratulate him on his son today?
Not on camera.
We didn't?
No.
Can we take that opportunity?
Absolutely.
Congratulations on your son who Aslam today. He did his shahada today.
Yes.
And this is a huge moment for you. So mabruk, alf mabruk for that.
Shukran. Thank you. Yeah, it was unexpected and he followed his heart. I didn't have to tell him what to do or what not to do. My father's side of the family is all Muslim. My grandfather's an imam. He gave Muhammad Ali his shahada and managed Muhammad Ali.
Amazing.
And for this to come full circle around and my son get inspired today, I'm smiling heavy, you know. And part of my shades is I don't want to show my sleepy face, but I'm actually up now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were gonna cry, and that's why you had the shades on. I was like, oh, if he says that, that's gonna be really sweet.
No, I cried earlier a lot. I had to change my shirt.
الأولى, when I saw him last year, Swiss, he was all smiles, and he really is such a positive and happy person. But honestly, when he got out of the Chevrolet Suburban, honestly, he was glowing a little bit.
Yeah,
he was, and I don't know if that's because I knew what I saw on social media that his son Aslam, but there was an extra happiness and glow. Shoulders were a bit more broad. He looked knackered because whenever he's in Saudi, I know you probably get only 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I know you're going to Riyadh. They don't sleep. But
some of us do. Some of us love it.
I expected him to show up like ready to crash, but he was like, he gave us that, like he looked like the day was subtitled under the word accomplished. We accomplished something today.
We did.
And it was really written all over your face.
I'm glad I woke Nasser up and got to meet him.
Yeah.
I'm really.
He's happy you woke him up too. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed pissed when Monique was there. Just, hey, what
happened?
And then he woke up and he saw my face, and I'm like, hi. And he's like, hello.
So
who are you?
Music transports from the US to here. Fashion transports from the US to here. What I want to ask you about, that I'm very actually inquisitive of, is how did you get into camel racing / camel buying, the asset, if we can call that.
That's as Saudi as it gets.
I always wanted to ask him that question.
Well, shout out to Saudi Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. My team is created in Saudi.
BX.
Shout to Ahmed, number one trainer that I can ever ask for or have. It's a blessing. We've won many trophies, and we're doing very well right now during this season. So alhamdulillah to that. But just from coming to Saudi, and you know, my friends would watch this at like 5 a.m. I just know that we sitting here watching camel racing, and the commentator was just like the highlight of the show. I'm just like, whoa, like I need this energy right here.
Yeah.
And I think it was more like on like my 5th time coming back, and I said, you know what, I want to do this for my birthday. And then I started asking questions like, wait a minute, I see like a lot of flags while I'm watching the race. I've never seen a flag from the States. So I'm asking my guy, I'm like, has a person from the U.S. ever been a camel owner and had a team? It's like, no, never. I said, so if I was to do this and the Federation accept me, because there's a lot of things to fill out and all of this stuff. And it was like, paperwork. Yeah, it would be history. I'm like, wow, I'm ready to do this now.
That's when you did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. So that was the fun, but more so, I wanted people to see something different. You know, I wanted to show a different sport. I wanted to do something to get my kids engaged. I named all the camels after friends and family members so that they're engaged into it, and they get the schedule and see their name. And what I do is, like, you know, from the prizes, if your name, when I give you 10%, you know, to whoever name it is, just, you know, keep people engaged.
Yeah.
And it's amazing in the house when the kids like, oh, I'm racing today. I'm like, oh, okay, let's go. They remind me sometimes of the races now. And it's actually fun, and I just want to just show people things that they probably would never see. You know, even in Saudi, like, a lot of people didn't really understand the camel racing. Like, they weren't into it like that. And
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a completely.
I don't. It's unbeknownst to me. Like, Swiss knows more about it than we do. You know what's super cool is that what's close to camel racing is horse racing. Name one, as Swiss just said, one American, one non-Saudi who's into camel racing. It doesn't exist. So that's a barrier that he broke. Can we just talk about the freshness of that move
Saudi,
for a second?
by the way.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tell you that now.
Absolutely. If you did a DNA test.
Yes.
Yes, sir. No,
Yeah.
there's
Yes.
probably he looks more Saudi than I do. But like
And me.
camel racing, like, what do we know about it? And he's made it cool. No, you know what really gets me is that how many people will follow Swiss's footsteps now that he has taken a piece of, he owns a camel or two. Like, who's to say that, who's coming here from Middle East? I heard of a few artists from the States. I don't know if we can say, but we just got some news that some big artists came.
Yeah, the announcement is out.
No, it's out. You can say it, actually.
Yeah, the announcement is out.
What if DJ Khaled's like, you know what, Swiss, can you tell me a little bit about camel racing? I'd like to buy a camel or 2 or 10. For example.
Shout out to Khaled. He did my Shayla. And you know what a Shayla is?
No idea. That's why we were looking at each other.
We're like,
I did say,
Mo, please
so,
say something now.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
This feels good. So, you know, a Shayla is the celebration after you win.
Okay.
Right? Like, so when our team win, we do the Shayla, and the Shayla, you have to have a song. Right? Like, so if you Google the Swiss Beatz Shayla, you're going to see Khaled doing the intro.
No way.
And the Qasim Abu Nasser theme song, that's our Shayla. You see my team dancing with the kids and the family, and it's a big celebration. And everybody should do Shaylas when they accomplish something. It's a great,
Oh my God, that's so cool.
it's a great ceremony.
The famous old school Arab artist that Swiss always plays. What's her name?
Itab.
Yes.
Oh,
We're going to have to keep that in there. I'm sorry. I'm going to own not knowing that. You know, when I knew that something
You got
was
some
gonna
big
cook.
news coming about Itab later, by the way.
And in Al-Ula last year, every time Swiss was moving or rocking to a song, it was Atab. It was Atab. And Sarah, my wife, was
I
like,
even had Khaled played. Everybody played.
when
Tab.
you went back
He
to
loves it,
went to Miami, that's the point I'm coming to.
I saw that video. He was in the car.
Yeah.
I just felt that the next recruit or the next person who's going to be introduced to Saudi culture through Swiss is going to be DJ Khaled.
Absolutely.
And
Can't wait for
and
that.
now he's confirmed for Middle East.
Yeah.
When they were in the Maybach in the back, like vibe. Oh, sorry. When DJ Khaled was in the back vibing to Atab, I'm like, that's got Swiss written all over it. It's written all over it.
DNA.
Yes.
But
times.
it's been fun introducing people, you know, to Saudi, because everybody always have like a mystery but they actually have somebody now that they can pick up the phone, that they feel they can trust, they feel safe. They know I'm gonna say the truth. A lot of people are scared to say what they don't know, right? Like, so they'll turn down something just because they don't know. Yeah. But now I think that it's been amazing because they ask me the questions, I tell them the truth. And everything is still a work in progress also. You know, like, you can't compare Saudi to no other place. It's on its own trajectory. It's on its own time. It's on its own movement. So when people compare this place to, I said, it's two different places, apples and oranges. Yeah. And the thing that I love about Saudi a lot is that it's actually heritage here. It's actually real culture. You know, there's the music, there's the food, you know, there's even like how the old town is getting preserved and put back in order, and how the developments that's happening for creatives, you know, that some people might not understand that forward thinking, but I just love that the risk is being taken to push the envelope, not only on Saudi, but the whole world. You know, like what other place has a 10-year plan that the entire community know about and can chime in and add, and look at where we at in Jax. Like, we in Jax. This place is for people like yourself, creatives, where people can come build and project their greatness. You know, we don't have a lot of that back home. I don't see it. You know, this is a historic moment that we're witnessing. This is not a small thing. Yep. Because, like, you know, even the show that me and my son is shooting is called Drive, right? And it's just like, what's your drive? Which I'm gonna ask you guys in 2 seconds. And it's a show about cars and car coaches and car clubs coming together.
Love it. And
meeting each other. And, you know, today we had, I don't want to give it all away, Disney would kill me, but
we don't
there's some serious driving talent. I'm not talking about, you know, fancy cars only, right? Because people, when they think of the Middle East, they only think of like gold Rolls Royces and all of these different things. And some people may choose to have that. But there are really talented drivers out here that really take their craft serious, that really do unique one-of-one things. And the world is going to see it through this show with Disney Hulu. And I was blown away, like, the last 3 days. Like, today, I was like, this is a human doing this with a car.
What did you see? Is it the typical Saudi going 180 kilometers an hour?
I think it
right,
might be
left?
The leaning of the, right?
Yeah, we did that.
Or was it
I was like, it seems like that was the easy one.
You did that in the music video of the one with French and Skinny, yeah.
Yeah, but this was
for real.
This is the world champ. This is the person. This is
the
biggest. This person. This is
If there were stunt driver, if there were like awards for, if stunt driving was an Olympic sport, we'd medal. We would. Further to Swiss's point.
Yes,
we
I mean,
would,
this brother, he did stunts for movies and events 1,800 times.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in his portfolio. Right hand Saudi. You're gonna know all about him.
I can't parallel park to save my life.
He'd be the worst stunt driver.
He backwards parallel parked today while drifting. Okay, so I never.
God, I need driving lessons. Mo, I think you need driving lessons actually.
Come on, I just drive a little too far. I'm trying to ingratiate or try to get myself into the Saudi driving of Riyadh. So you got to fit in, or you're gonna be on the bench.
And you know, there's men and women drivers, because people have this thing that women don't drive in Saudi.
Oh, they do.
I've been in the passenger seat of the craziest, most talented driver, doing the Dakar, doing like unbelievable talent.
Oh, they drive.
Yeah. Drive.
Yeah, they do.
Like
they do.
Unbelievable.
I want to touch on the art.
I think we have to touch on the art.
Yeah. I'm like, better late than never. And from my research and speaking to Brother Hema, Mr. Swiss's first art installation was in Jeddah, in Promenade. Actually, a really, really beautiful piece, because we've never had anything of that stature or level right on the water. How did you land on Jeddah being your chosen space for your first art installation?
I think it was a mix of things. I was looking for a project that one I could deliver. And my team, shout out to Good Intentions, Noah, shout out to Ali as well at that time, and shout out to Silla, Ibrahim. It was just a great project. You know, the first F1 track in Saudi, being a car fanatic, one, being an art fanatic, two, and wanting to make history, three, and doing it with great people, four, and we could count to 100 with all of the things, right? And, you know, just being able to curate something that was timeless. You know, the Falcon gets most of the attention, but there's over 20 something works that we put throughout the whole landscape. And so when I see that Falcon during the F1 races, I see people going there and doing selfies. I'm seeing people sitting there meditating and all type of light shows on the Falcon. It actually feels good. Yeah. And I thought that it was the perfect project to be able to start with. A lot of people felt that I should have went bigger, but sometimes less is more.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes less is more, and sometimes we got to just take our time to do something right instead of just going so massive with everything. I just was like, you know, I can put 100 pieces here, but let's curate 20 amazing pieces throughout the promenade that makes sense and it's tasteful. And then let's do something that people can remember Jeddah by. And, you know, the Falcon is a amazing symbol here in Saudi.
Truly, facing the ocean too. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, look
Really
out for Saudi Bronx Falcon team coming soon.
Oh,
I was gonna say that.
There's a scoop.
Yeah.
Being around Jemana the last couple of days here in Riyadh, she's like, I'm getting to understand and being integrated into the art scene. And I'm seeing just how big it is getting from 5 years ago. Was it pretty much like barely there?
It was always there. And I think, as you said, and I think several people said, we took a pause for a minute.
Okay.
Because a lot of people think of art as a luxury. And now that it's being integrated into the educational system, now we can say, okay, you know what?
Yes.
We're getting there. As soon as it's being introduced into public schools, it's no longer a luxury. So it becomes a way that you interpret life. And I explained that to you. It's all about perspective. So the fact that we have this amazing festival that's happening, that happens to focus on the medium of light, whether it's symbolically or literally. I mean, the fact that you're forcing people to live amongst that, hence the importance of public art, is incredible. And I think the 20 so ideas that you've had, if we just pick one of those, and maybe we can have it in the festival next year.
Inshallah.
I think that would be a great second installation in Saudi.
So apparently 80 installations this year.
Over 80.
Yeah.
With you having a foot in the door in the art scene of Saudi, and you see the scale of Noor Riyadh. Looking at the next 5 years, you must be, not to lead the witness, but you must be super bullish about where the space is going to be in the next 5 years.
Inshallah. I feel that sky is not the limit, it's just the view. You know, I think that everybody has the momentum because they're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. The youth is feeling heard and is responding, you know, through arts, through music, through fashion. You know, look at the Fashion 100, you know, all of those amazing designers. Like, I just think it's brilliant, and I love to see the Fashion 100 as an example, you know, show up in the States and represent as well. And even though it started here, and so many creatives are going to be able to have that opportunity because there's ministries now, the Ministry of Culture, like all of the ministries, and shout out to His Highness Prince Batter for definitely opening up a lot of doors. He was the one that actually showed me a lot of the landscape of where the creativity was going, what were some of the big plans, and I actually seen like a lot of those plans come to life. Like a lot of people can talk about it. Like I was in Mariah and Alula with a hard hat on when the glass panels wasn't up.
No way.
Right? Like, so, wow. And then to see it to where my wife is now performing in that same building, it's like the before and after, and, even turn it into a true UNESCO heritage site. I think that's like very important because Saudi's sitting on so much that like finally there's a group and a team that understand the importance of preserving, understand the importance of, letting the creatives fly, and it's just a breath of fresh air to witness. I'm happy to witness this.
It's just nobody can say it better than that.
Absolutely.
Really, like really to preserve of what we're sitting on. Mm-hmm. We were on a gold mine. We had no idea what it was about. Mm-hmm. And now we have people in place where they're activating that, where we have the likes of people like Swiss Beatz coming in and showcasing what we have to the world. And it just comes so easy to him, It's effortless.
It's genuine.
It's effortless because if you extend the hand, the other hand will come, and it's just like effortless to him. Seriously, I'm getting goosebumps here.
It's been great because like, I just feel like people have to, we just got to change some of our ways, because
you're Saudi.
Yes. and like when I tell people, I say, look,
you love this guy.
I know everybody come to Saudi to take things, like, but what do you bring into Saudi? Like, what do you leave in the Saudi? Like it should be an even exchange, not just to come and take a check and run and not even go see certain places, at least go see the old town, at least come to Jack's, like support something local. And I just want a lot of the artists that's coming here to really like think bigger, think more open-minded. Don't just come here to do a show and leave and feel like you hustle something. Like it'll feel better if you left something. It'll feel better if you took some time out to learn something. Like you can learn a lot in Saudi. I've been learning so much being here for the time that I've been here, off and on, coming back and forth. I learn something new every time. And I think that to make the world a better place, we got to stop being so transactional.
Truly, exactly. That's the word, transactional. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you bought a few camels. That tells you everything you need to know about integrating yourself into the society. I want to talk about your skating rink. How cool of an idea. Was that your idea? I feel like it was.
That's my concept for like 2 years.
Knew it.
Because they were skating in Saudi in the 70s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They were skating in Saudi in the 70s. And I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to imagine what the DJ would sound like, or the music that was playing, like
عتاب.
Yeah, right? Like skating to Tab, Kalsum, Majid, right? And
gotta get
Are you actually gonna put it on the phone?
I just
You're
need
gonna put some
to.
right down.
I need to.
Oh,
Did you see the Tab art piece that's around the corner from here?
I think so. The mural.
Yeah.
I just want to make Swiss feel at home.
He actually, look at him. He's Saudi.
Wait till the chorus comes in.
Oh, my mom would be so happy.
You cannot not move to this. Let's go. Hey.
He danced in Saudi.
Do you know what that reminds me of? You know when I got introduced to Atab?
Every single wedding in Saudi?
Nope. What I perceived as being sound checks at Alicia Keys' concert with him on the stage, and a clip went viral. And I'm like, oh, Sarah. So it's my wife. I'm like, that's kind of catchy. She's like, it's Atab. You don't know? I'm like, no. Atab. And she's like, oh, how cute Swiss is there supporting Alicia while she's doing the sound checks and all that. And they were dropping some Atab. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if they'll play it tonight or tomorrow. And little did we know that they did. That was my first introduction to Atab. Maybe because I lived in the States for 20 years.
Wow.
And I wasn't here. But that was my first and I was like, wow, that's catchy. And no wonder why Swiss loves it as well.
Atab sang at my aunt's wedding, so it's
she sang at your aunt's.
Yeah.
You have the video to that?
I might. You know what? Let me try to find it for you.
See if you have the. I need to see that.
Love where his
Her
head
story is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Somebody should make a movie about that.
When did she pass away? When was she born? What was her era?
Swiss would know, I'm sure.
It was the 70s.
70s? There should be a documentary about her. I mean, this is like
there should be a movie.
Like Arabic.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Produced by Swiss Beatz.
Yes. Netflix special.
That was not a joke.
Yeah, no, that was
the
not
Netflix
a joke.
guy was at the podcasting conference I was at today. I should have told him, you know what? You could have done a little special with Swiss Beatz about Atab.
Amazing. No, we have a lot of culture, we have a lot of history. We just need to revive it.
80 pieces across Riyadh starting November 1st. I just like.
So you're gonna come visit, right? You're gonna see it.
You will.
I would say inshallah, but that's like a no.
My God.
That's like a polite way of saying no.
If you were to check one of his pockets, he will have a green passport in there. Because inshallah does have a no connotation.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
inshallah.
It's a great escape that you can't question.
Are you saying that to me?
Kind of.
I
I have to come. I have to come.
Yeah.
Jemana, it's like the one word you can't use in court. So did you blah, 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 inshallah?
Yeah.
No, I need a yes or no.
That's it.
It's too good.
Yeah, I hate it when contractors tell me inshallah. Inshallah means no.
Yeah.
That means 6 months more.
Yeah. No, it means no.
That means more money. Can you get this fixed for this? Inshallah.
Have you collected any Saudi art, and by whom?
See, don't hit me with the names. I don't want to mess nobody's names up. Yes, I give you the list of names. But Rashid
Shasha.
Yes, that was the first artist.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
he's in the festival. We actually had him. We had them on the
What
podcast.
kind of piece? I'm amateur to this.
It's a beautiful light up piece.
Okay.
I actually got it. It was at it was an art fair in Saudi, and this one was for it was a great cause. I forgot what the cause was, and I just supported it.
Yeah, but you fell in love with the work. I'm assuming you fell in love with the piece.
I only collect things that I love.
Yeah,
like I don't buy for hype. I don't buy because of what it's going to be worth. You know, if I have to feel it.
Yeah.
I was going to follow up with the technicalities of the art scene, like galleries. What I got from the story is that galleries not paying the artists their dues. The artists want from the galleries what they need to get. It's kind of like the music business a little bit, like with record labels and all that. Swiss would know a lot more about that than I do. But I didn't know that those politics and those complications and all that also exist. I mean, so naive of me that even in the art world, that exists. And it's just a war of corporation versus individual or artist. Music industry, artists, actors, maybe to some degree.
Yeah, but don't forget that, first of all, I worked in a gallery. I mean, I started my art career as a gallerist and curator in a gallery for 8 years. And I learned so much, and I represented most of the artists today that I know and love and work with. The gallery also, their objective and their duties towards the artist is to also make sure to introduce them to the global and international scene, because a lot of the art fairs, whether it's Frieze, Art Basel, you as an artist, as an individual, you can't actually participate only galleries participate. So there is a role for a gallery to play. Without them, the artist might not be able to get into a lot of these art fairs, therefore not getting the same exposure, not getting the institutional acquisitions. What do the institutional acquisitions do to an artist? They raise their value, and then they're able to live a little bit better.
It's very similar to the music industry. Is it not? Can you chime in on that? You would know.
I always get in trouble with these questions in this conversation because I'm just raw. I'm real with it, and you know, it's the reason why we started No Commissions, because you would go to these fairs and the galleries win, the collectives win, the fair wins, and the artists kind of got to find their way home, right? And so, you know, this is real stories. This is a real fact. You know, I would be at the fair and I know a lot of the artists and they're like, hey, you know, do you have an extra room, or do you think I could ride back with you on the plane? I'm like, man, I know this person's show is sold out.
No, that's sad.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
And I just kept hearing the same stories. And I was like, man, you know, we come to these fairs and all these different things, but like, is it really about the artists?
Yeah.
Or is
Fairs
it
are never about the artists, probably. Because if they were, they would allow artists to actually participate without representation, to represent themselves. But they're forced to be with the gallery. It's that very strange rule of getting into an art fair.
I always I'm going to put a bit of Mo Show podcast flavor in this. And I like asking guests what their biggest challenges were and what they learned from it. What was your favorite failure is literally my question verbatim.
My old favorite failure, because it's not really a failure if you learn from it, technically.
Yes, sir.
Right? Like, but my former, I hate the word failure, by the way.
Me too.
Right? I hate even saying it. Right? Like,
and impossible.
The thing that I learned from in my journey so far that was holding me back, and didn't understand it was holding me back until I realized this is what's holding me back. And that was just believing in myself and taking the risk. And like, even if 1,000 people don't agree with what you're feeling or what you want to do, and you know this feeling, it's a very deep feeling that says go. And I was ignoring that go sign for so long. And like I said, I was doing things that was just like checking a box instead of like smiling with my heart, because it just felt like it's the way that it's supposed to go. Like a lot of people tell you what you're supposed to do, right? Like you're supposed to do what you feel. You're not supposed to do just, why does this person get to tell me what I'm supposed to do? Because they have more money than me, or they have more knowledge. Like what? Like, you know, like, and I just stopped caring about like a lot of different things that don't speak to me. You know, I'll listen to a whole conversation and ignore quietly the things that don't speak to me. And I take like maybe one piece and I was like, okay, that made sense. I like this. I'm gonna apply that to myself. But sometimes we apply the whole thing, and probably 99% of what we're applying don't apply to us. It might apply to that person because of their experience or because of their challenges. You might not. We're all designed different, right? So like, even when I give people inspiration, I give them words of wisdom, I always end it with do what you feel, right? Forget my accomplishments, that doesn't have anything to do with you. So don't take what I'm telling you and use it if you don't feel it. If you feel it, use it tonight. And I just follow my intuition. I follow the universe. You know, I just go with the flow. Like if I don't feel something, I don't do it. If I feel something, like I want to do it now, like the Saudi way, like, right? Like you want this building up tonight, right? Like it's like, no, when okay, you want to build the whole block? When?
Yalla.
Yalla, Habibi, I'm sorry.
Time means nothing.
We this next week, please.
Because in the States, there's
I can't even order the wood from to next week, but it always happens. So this is the movement.
Yeah.
And I'm glad doing this podcast was something that you felt you wanted to do. So
I did, It just felt. I only did one podcast here in Saudi, and I just feel that I don't do enough because I don't really like talking that much.
Yeah.
As much as I talk.
Right. I get what you mean.
Right. Like it's like
Yeah.
for me, I like the discovery. I like people to have I don't want to give people everything. I want them to discover, just like how I'm discovering as well. I like the mystery. I like, even like when I made the announcement, I killed 90% of the press because I don't want it to feel like a promotion. I want to show better than I can tell people, right? Because everybody's talking about this and announcements with this, and just put the work in. I want to put the work in, and I want the people to talk about me. I don't want to talk about myself like that. But I was excited to do this podcast. So.
Even though we're all half asleep, and
I'm wide awake.
It just means speak for yourself. It just means so much more to us because, we know you're exhausted.
I'm not.
Am I the only one?
I'm not exhausted. My eyes are tired, which is
why
I got my shades on. But I'm not exhausted. I'm actually excited to speak to you guys.
Means a lot. Thank you,
an honor.
honestly, for taking this time.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for how you represent our country. Again, I go back to the time in الأولى after your wife Alicia Keys, the great Alicia Keys' concert, when we convened after the concert, and you said a few words, and it spoke to me, and I was like, this guy it's real. It's coming from the heart, man. He really wants to see our country prosper, grow, and be the next big thing. I believed it when he said it. I looked into his eyes. He wasn't wearing shades that night. And he meant it. He's like, this, what you all see right here, right now, is the next big thing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. His words exactly. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I just bought into that. I'm like, love this guy. Marra, he spoke to my soul.
Yeah.
And I knew that Swiss isn't just the kind of guy who's going to come here for a year or two and bounce. He's in it for the long term. And I'm patriotic, and I feel like he shares my patriotism as well.
Yeah.
So it really meant to me, and we really appreciate what you do for the country, man.
But you said something that I think you just sort of said very, very quickly, but I think I want to reiterate it.
Tell me.
Genuinely, thank you for representing our country the way that you do.
Thank you.
100%.
You did it better than most of us have done.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I was born and bred. I did travel around. I did see the inside of a plane.
Hey.
But seriously and genuinely.
Thank you.
I think that needs a moment, and we're grateful for you.
Imagine the shockwaves he's making back in the States with the artists. We're like, oh, Swiss is
It's a
getting
ripple
close
effect.
with the Saudis. Let's see what's behind there.
Yeah.
What's going on there. No one's talking about that. We hear negative about Saudi Arabia, but Swiss seems to be seeing an angle that we don't see.
Yeah.
So let's see what he's seeing through his for lack of a better word, sunglasses.
Yeah, and I'll take the sun. You want me to take the sunglasses off?
I don't know. It suits you so good.
Yeah, but I love that part. But once again, I can't stress enough that all of the people that are getting inspired by me being here, I want them to come here and put the real work in. Don't look at Saudi as an okay zone just to get a check, do a show, leave. Think bigger. I think the smallest thing you could do in Saudi is a show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? The biggest thing you could do in Saudi is learn about the culture.
True.
Go in the desert and have some Saudi coffee, right? And listen to an amazing musician play the oud. Have some shisha if you want, right? And look at the family energy that's around you. from the people that's hosting you, that's treating you like family, like more than probably your family, right? And actually leave with something that's in here. Like, forget your bank account. Like, that's cool, right? But like, your bank account is your heart. Your bank account is your energy. Your bank account is really what you can give, and the energy that you can receive. That's the equal exchange. And that's what I've been having fun doing here. You know, so like all of the big plans, I kind of took them off the table. You know, I'm like, you know what? I want to be a student here, and whatever come that speaks to me and my team, that's what we'll do. Like, I don't have no expectations. I don't have no game plan. Like, I came with one. I ripped it up. I can't, because I don't want to, it just feels, once again, transactional. I want to be the change that I want to see.
Yeah.
And the change start with you. The change, like when you want to change something, it should start with you. I just want artists to come here, and entertainers and all of these things that when you come here, just come here with your heart.
Yeah. Is there also an element of the region being undersaturated compared to other parts of the world that you've been to?
I don't feel Saudi's undersaturated. I mean, it depends on which meaning. Like, what do you mean? Like, 'cause maybe I'm thinking of it a different way when you're saying it.
In terms of buyers and sellers, there's a lot more buyers here than there are sellers. In the States, it's kind of like equal. Over here, we're new to the game. You know, we're thirsty for those really sick pieces that are up on display in New York City. How about we put some up in Riyadh? That's what I mean by undersaturated.
I wouldn't call it undersaturated. I would call it perfect timing.
Okay.
Right? And the reason why I would call it perfect timing is because Saudi got a chance to watch everybody do it.
Yep.
Right? And so now there's a blueprint of what to do and what you can obviously see not to do. And so I feel that this is the perfect time to get into everything that I'm seeing Saudi get into, from architecture to art to fashion, and then the support that the region has now is you can go above and beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is important. This is the right timing.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else done overdid it and don't have nothing to show for it. You know, Saudi, like I said before, look at Alula, like it's like being on another planet.
You feel the energy there, yeah?
Yes.
Isn't it crazy?
I mean, look at all of the islands that's discovered that nobody's never touched. Thousands. This is just starting.
Just starting.
Right? This was preserved for a reason.
Yeah.
This is being discovered now for a reason, and it's insane that we're here to witness this.
It's crazy. It just flips the narrative completely on its head. This is something that I've been wanting to ask him for a while. It's the closing question of my favorite podcaster that he uses in pretty much all his podcasts, Tim Ferriss. But it's very appropriate for Swiss. And it's, if you can put together something on a billboard, an art piece or drawing, whatever, a billboard, it could be any size, any dimension, anywhere in the world. What would you put on that billboard? And he actually goes a little further. He's like, where in the world would it be and what size would it be? But let's just say, if you can paint a billboard anywhere in the world, what would you put on that billboard as a message to the world?
Too easy. Good intentions.
Yes.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Not even because it's my company's name, but
Have good intentions.
it's everything starts with good intentions.
Yeah.
إنما الأعمال بالنيات.
بالنيات, yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Right? So
I love that.
just think about, like, when you enter in a business, when you enter in a relationship, anything, if you come with good intentions,
Yeah.
you're straight.
It's the bottom line.
That's it. Like
100%.
anything I do, I go into it with good intentions, or I don't mess with it. Because I know, like, even at the intro moment, it might feel good, it might be all of these things, but then you really get to the end of it and realize everybody wasted their time because you didn't have good intentions, And maybe that person didn't have good intentions, so it's a double negative. But the main thing, like I said, it starts with yourself. If I don't have good intentions on something, I know I'm wasting my time. You might be a family member, you might, like, if I'm thinking like one ill intention, class, I can't, it's done. Because it's just, it all starts with good intentions. Like, I know if something don't work out, I can go to sleep at night. I was like, listen, you know, I had good intentions the whole time. So, you know, if that person chose to do that, then that's cool. I feel no way.
When did you land on that?
On good intentions?
Yeah.
When I noticed that, like, the mindset of not having good intentions was a waste of time. Like, I started realizing every time that I would try to play around with something or try to like out hustle somebody for something, it just never worked.
Yeah.
Like, it might work for a short period of time, and it was like, you know, and the thing you did, it broke now. Now it's like, now you spending more money to fix it than just doing the right thing. Like, it's like, and I turned down so many company deals and people wanting to do business because they don't have good intentions as well. So you have to be able to understand when somebody else don't have good intentions also, right? Like, you have to have good intentions, I have to have good intentions, but I have to also be smart enough to know when you don't have a good intention and protect myself also, because it's the same thing, you know. And a lot of companies, they don't have good intentions. They come in to take advantage of the culture, take advantage of the people, feeling like, oh, you know, we're doing them a favor and you're not going to be this without us. Man, I'll be fine. You know, and I tell people, even with Saudi, I'm like, listen, if you don't go to Saudi, the people in Saudi going to still wake up the next morning, man. They
ain't going nowhere.
Relax. Yeah. You know, like, it's like, come on, like, don't be like that. People are always so on themselves of like, oh, well, you know, they need me there. I'm like, brother,
we don't need
they
nobody.
might would like you to be there, but Saudi don't need anyone to be here but the people that's already here. So anybody else that's coming in here, it's a gift and a plus to that person, because it's just, I've been here long enough to understand that.
Yeah, you get to experience that.
Yeah, it's like,
does the hospitality here speak to you?
Definitely.
It's different, huh?
Definitely.
Because you've been around Saudi. You've been to Taif, where camel racing country is.
Yeah.
You've been to not just Jeddah, Riyadh, and the major cities, but you've been to the outback, if you will.
Of course.
Yeah.
All over.
You know what I found out with the Bedouins of Saudi? That's where hospitality lives.
I can tell.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're doing this tomorrow. That Nasser's going to experience it. Anybody watching this, if you haven't experienced the Bedouin hospitality, this is something that you have to do. It's unbelievable.
Put za in a useful sentence, please.
Before you answer that question, did it start with the word zone?
Yeah.
Zone, za.
Yeah, same. Za is the fancy version of zone. So it works with anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Ask me a question.
On the
How are you doing?
Za.
What time are you waking up tomorrow? Za.
Early za.
It's probably at this point 24 hours since Swiss has been awake for.
Yeah.
We're going to shut it down. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
We pushed you longer than
what time is it
have.
now?
You don't want to know. Don't record his reaction.
What time is it?
There's no.
It's 3:50.
It's 4 a.m.
It's almost 4 a.m.
4 a.m., ladies and gentlemen. Just understand.
I honestly would have guessed 2:15.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
No, good.
I am so.
It flowed nicely. It was.
I'm so sorry.
But it was
How are you
worth
still
it.
awake?
I'm dying.
You were passing out at midnight.
Yeah, no, I'm dying. But it was worth every single
Thank you.
Yeah.
second.
Yeah, I feel that. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamal.
Oh my God.
My co-host.
Ooh.
Wrapping up here at New Riyadh with the legendary Swiss Beatz and the equally legendary Jamal Roth, Mo Islam from the Mo Show Podcast. Good night, everyone. Apparently 3:48 a.m. Adios.
Za, za, za.
Za, za, za.
Zone.
Hey. See, now people say it together like that, you know?
Yeah.
Za, za, za. So. Like, they did that in Japan the other day. I was like, damn.